Learn the definitive history of the DC Universe. Let's talk about that in this video. Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for New History of the DC Universe #1. This is a new book from DC Comics. In this series, we will learn and relearn what is truly canon in the DC universe. So let's talk about the creative team before we get into this book. Of course, we have who the person that's been the architect of the DC universe for the past few years, Mark Waid, on writing duties. We also have two artists. We have Jerry Ordway, classic DC writer, and Todd Knock, who's also been really somebody that both of these artists are really at the core. A lot of the big events, a lot of the things that have happened in the DC universe. We have colors by Matt Herms and John Callis, and Todd Klein on letters. A beautiful, beautiful cover by Chris Samney and Giovanna Nero on colors for that. Yeah, this is fantastic stuff. So, in celebration of 90 years of DC, superfan and writer Mark Waid turns back time to the very beginning of the DC universe in a 4-issue miniseries drawn by some of DC's greatest artists and told by the newest chronicler of time, Barry Allen the Flash. In this debut issue, Barry takes us from the very beginning, the very birth of the DC universe, to the rise of the Justice Society and the Golden Age of Heroes as it begins. So let's talk about that. Yeah, this is really, really cool. Like, if you ever get into any kind of argument of like, this is how this happened, or this is what's actually canon, DC has now given you this series that shows you all the events that are canon. It's 48-page book. You have about 32 pages of actual story, of at least the chronicles that Barry's going through. And then in the back matter, you have some highlights of key events, things that have been like, you have a little snippets of original art. It's really, really well put together. Big shout out. Let me see who's the editor on this. We have Barry Holzer and Andrew Marino. Obviously, a really, really important task here. I really also love that they give Mark Wolfman and George Perez a tip of the hat in the credits, because they are obviously two of the very, very influential creators. And there's so many, but I think those two overall, when it comes to Crisis and everything that happened there, they really cemented and redefined the DC universe. I love the art. There's such a way that they picked artists that are perfect for the DC house style, which is what you really need in a book like this. Uh, there is no dialogue. Everything is just kind of Barry talking over all the events that you kind of see, and it highlights so many cool things, right? The rise of the Green Lanterns. We also have the creation of the new gods and the old gods and Apocalypse and all that. We have some of the more magical stuff like the Eternal, or like Lucifer coming to be, uh, what happens on Earth, the Amazons coming into being as well, the Egyptian gods, the Rock of Eternity, like all these key moments, the rise of Ra's al Ghul. Like I said, we go into some of the supernatural aspects, like the demon Etrigan. It's just everything is in here. We have some really cool stuff, and this one kind of ends directly at the destruction of Krypton, which is also a little bit after we see all the members of the Justice Society. Todd Knock draws a couple of pages that are just smack full of characters. I would love to, and I probably will ask on social media how long some of these took, because man, oh man, it is a dense page of characters. All of them who are named, all of them who are a part, big or small in the DC universe. So really enjoyed going through this one. I think this series, I'm gonna pick up the. I'm gonna pick up the single issues because Chris Samney's cover is fantastic, and it's a wraparound cover. It's really nice. You saw that at the beginning of the video. But I think this is going to be one of the coolest hardcover collections that DC is going to put out eventually. Uh, I can just imagine, because there's so much work going into this, and I bet they'll have some additional back matter for that. They love doing those deluxe editions, and I'm actually pretty excited for that. I'm trying to switch to some of the more books like this that are miniseries, just to switch over to the collection instead of picking up all the single issues. But I love good covers, and that's what really gets me and keeps me buying month to month. So if you check this out, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments as always. Thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye. The first VR Trooper series in 30 years. Let's talk about it in this video. Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we're going to be doing a review for VR Troopers #1. This is a new book from Boom Studios. Let's talk about the creative team. I'll talk a little bit about the property and how this book kind of fits into the larger world, because this is tied in to a lot of things, but it also is a very good standalone book. This is written by Marjorie Scott with illustrations by Sebastian Pires, JP Jordan on colors, letters by Taylor Esposito. Really cool main cover by Torrin Clark. That's probably the cover you saw at the beginning of the video. So I had to do a little bit of digging around because I'm not up to date with the Power Rangers. But when I checked this out for Free Comic Book Day, there was a little preview for VR Troopers, and I knew that I wanted to follow up with this. This is spinning out of the new the series, the Power Rangers Prime. This is all part of Boom Studios within their Saban shared universe. The premise, we'll talk about that in a second. So originally, this series was produced in the 1994. There was a live action VR Troopers. It aired for around 2 seasons, 92 episodes, very similar to the way Power Rangers came to be, adapted from Japanese footage and kind of retooled for an American audience. So the only reason that this series stopped, and this is an interesting thing that I just kind of found out while I was looking through this, they ran out of footage. They ran out of footage from Japan, so they stopped. They just kind of stopped making it. So, all right. So, like I said, this is a spin-off from this Power Ranger series. Now, I'm not caught up with that series itself, but this issue does a very good as a standalone thing, where you can just kind of jump in here. The book tells you everything you need to know. So let's actually get to talking about VR Troopers #1. The VR Troopers are the most elite of the Eltarian Empire's human heroes on Earth. But what secrets are the Eltarians keeping? When VR Ryan tracks down a rogue Skug, he'll come face to face with a foe who will change his understanding of VR and himself forever. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the premise of this, right? We have Ryan Steele, who's kind of, I'm not going to say he's our protagonist, because it's all three of them. But he's the one that we kind of start with, and he's the one that the story seems to be centering around. We also have Caitlin Starr, who's the other VR Trooper, and JB Reese. So all three of them combined from the VR Troopers, this elite force. And the book really tells you everything you need to know, right? You get to know a little bit about Ryan. The thing that clued me into this being, a part of the Power Rangers is that the location tag says Angel Grove, California, which is where the Rangers also, do their shenanigans. So I might go back and read the Rangers Prime series just to figure out exactly how these two things are connected. But you don't need to. I mean, it's probably something that I was going to read eventually, but now I have a little bit more urgency. I think Pires' art is perfect for this. It's very dynamic, but it also just really works. It's very clean, very clean lines. Not a lot of thick, not a lot of over inking, making some of the characters seem a little bit heavier. They all feel very dynamic. I really like. I follow Pires on social media, and anytime that we see a post, I'm like, oh my goodness, look at that! Look at the cool character designs. I think Sebastian Pires is really good at just taking some existing characters and giving them a little bit of a redesign or an update, or at least drawing them in his style. So like it really works. We have really great storytelling too. There's a lot of narration, but it doesn't get in the way of the story. It actually kind of moves things along. And when I say a lot, I don't mean that the page is full of it. I just mean that every once in a while we'll see a little pop-up box with Ryan's thoughts inside, right? It's also very easily to understand the relationship between the troopers themselves, and of course setting up this mystery, right? But this is full of action as well, which is the thing that I'm kind of drawn to in a series like this. I do want to know more about their powers, about how they kind of came to be, about who is this, like this the VR troopers themselves, like how do they work as an entity, and then like I said, maybe go back and read a little bit of the Rangers Prime to figure out how everything fits in the larger universe as well. I don't know the timeline. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I mean, if you have seen any Sentai, like you're probably going to be. It's very similar, right? The premise is very much the same. Some teenagers get a little power token, they transform, and then they kick ass. Like that, at the core of it, that's what these stories are, and that's kind of why I keep coming back to them, because there's still that little itch in the back of my head that I got to scratch with just like super cool shenanigans like this. But it really helps that there's really cool art, and just it's some of these pages are so, like really just great to look at. And I said I really like the design of the troopers. They all look very different from one another, which is not like the Power Rangers, or at least the original Power Rangers, that it was just a different color swap in each one of them, and and then the girl ones had a skirt, right? So yeah, I really like that, and I really enjoyed this comic. I don't know much about the writer, but I definitely want to go check out some of their other stuff. Now that I'm kind of looking into all this, and the cover itself, my God, I'm looking at some of the variants, and I'm very excited to see like where we're gonna go from here. Like because there's whenever you have a Power Rangers or a Power Rangers universe type of thing, Boom puts a lot of really great artists on their variants, and they really work. So if you have read VR Troopers, or if you know more about the original series, let me know about it down in the comments. Maybe throw out some recommendations. Let me know how they relate to the Power Rangers, or if you know, let me know their distinction and stuff like that. As always, thank you for watching. Stay tuned. We have a lot more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, and of course, a lot more stuff in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye. What happens when a nuclear test goes horribly wrong in 1962? Let's find out in News from the Fallout #1, a new comic from Image Comics. Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for News from the Fallout #1. This is a new book from Image Comics, written by Chris Condon with art by Jeffrey Allen Love, letters by Hassan Otsmane Elhau. I am so happy to finally be able to talk about this in a more public forum. I was lucky enough to read this a few weeks ago while Chris Condon was in town for Dallas, for Fan Expo Dallas. So I got to tell him a little bit about how much I enjoyed the book, but now I get to tell it to a wider audience. Let me give you a quick synopsis of this book. In 1962 Nevada, a nuclear bomb test goes horribly awry and unleashes a contaminant into the atmosphere that turns people rotten. Otis Fallows, a private in the U.S. Army who is present for the test and is the only known survivor, flees the secret army base in search of safe haven. But does such a place even exist? If you're not familiar, Chris Condon currently writing Ultimate Wolverine and that Texas Blood, that long-running series for Image as well. They've teamed up with Jeffrey Allen Love, who you can see from The Last Battle at the End of the World, The Thousand Demon Tree. There's other stuff like that. It is definitely a dark sci-fi horror story, and I really enjoyed it. Like I remember it was the first day of the convention. I stopped by Chris Condon's table to get my Ultimate Wolverine signed, and then I remember that I had this on our files that we get sent from these publishers. So shout out to Image Comics. So I went back overnight. I read the book, and then I came back the next day because I attended Comic Con all 3 days, and I was able to tell Chris how much I enjoyed the book. And I really hope that uh, everyone else also enjoys the book. I really like the fact this is a black and white book, but that just this book is all about the atmosphere, and I think that's where Jeffrey's art really comes into play. Maybe Jeffrey Allen. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the artist, but yeah. Either way, Love's art just really builds this atmosphere, right? The lack of color, the designs, the emptiness of some of the characters. Like there's a character that wears that protective mask, right? And the as you can see from the cover, like the eyes are just whited out. There is a general in the army that is up to no good, and you can kind of tell just by the way that he stands and the way that he talks. The lettering really adds a lot to this as well. I think, like I've mentioned before in other reviews, uh, great lettering goes very much undervalued and underestimated. Uh, because when it's great, it just really works and it kind of feels like it all belongs and it clicks together. But it really adds a lot to the atmosphere, whether it's a small noise or somebody yelling, like all those little things that you don't, this isn't an audio medium, so like the lettering is your audio for the book. Um, all those things combined just really bring this really dark story. Really, it's thrilling. It's almost like you're falling into uh a well of darkness, and the story just kind of engulfs everything, and the light begins to leave the story, and just when you think that you see a little bit of hope, like the light gets farther and farther away. It's just like I said, all about the atmosphere in this book. This is going to be an incredible series, and then once you get to like kind of the crux of this, like the climax of this issue, I think by that point you're going to be hooked, because I definitely was. I saw this. There was one panel in particular. You probably won't see it in the preview images because it's later on and it's a big spoiler. But once I saw that, I was like, I'm fully committed to the series wherever it goes. It's a great hook, and I really, really enjoy it. So there you have it. News from the Fallout #1. Go check it out from Image Comics, and give a shout out to the team because they've done such a good job in just like producing a fantastic first issue. I love reading first issues because I feel like it's almost the purest form of a comic book. Right? It's got to be the hook. It's got to tell you everything, especially when it's from a new series or a creator-owned kind of project, as opposed to like something from Marvel or DC where there's a lot of continuity already built in. So yeah, I love reading a good #1, and this definitely hit it out of the park. Rereading this for the review was such a joy because I just noticed so many other things that I didn't notice on the first run through because I was so engulfed by the story itself and trying to get there. So if you have read this book, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye. Are the Jetsons back in comics, or is this just a dream? Let's find out in Vanishing Point #2 from Mad Cave Studios. Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Vanishing Point #2. This is a new book from Mad Cave Studios. This is an anthology. These are all written by the same writer, but they have different creators in the rest of the book. So let's talk about that. This is written by Mark Russell with Ryan Alexander Tanner on art and letters, Sidney Davidson on colors. Uh, Very interesting. I you don't normally see the artist also be the letterer, which I mean, it's a pretty cool skill. I also really like that the cover almost it's kind of mocked up to be like a VHS tape. I think Hack did such a cool job with this cover. Um, in this issue, the Tomorrow family witnesses a dark reimagining of the cartoon family that we know, living amongst the clouds and the future that might have been. The brainchild of Mark Russell, Vanishing Point is an anthology series of short stories that are part of science fiction and also part existential horror, with the exceptional roster of artists tackling each of these tales. These stories with a twist in which the twist is not the point of the story, but a beginning point from which you ask what it means to be alive. Yeah, this is a very interesting book. Because it does make you wonder, like, what in the world is going on. I originally, when I saw this cover, I was like, are the Jetsons getting a um are they getting a new book? Is Mad Cave doing a Jetsons book that I wasn't aware of? Now obviously, in the marketing of all this stuff, because it is satire, like, Mad Cave never references the Jetsons. They call them the Tomorrow Family. But you can kind, I mean, you can kind of put thing two and two together. It's really cool because we meet Cosmo, Cosmo Warner, which is also a pretty funny name to kind of, Warner Brothers. Cosmo, I believe, is the name of the kid in the Jetsons, if I'm not mistaken. It's tough because I remember watching the Jetsons in Spanish and they had different names. But either way, there's a lot of ones to ones here. But all throughout this book, you feel like something's a little off, right? Cosmo, like, he wears a little eye patch because there's something wrong with his eye. He wants to hang out with the Tomorrow family because they have a good life. Like, we don't know what his life is like. They go to school, and all the things that the family kind of takes for granted, Cosmo really seems to appreciate. And that's kind of where, like, the twist comes in. Like, it almost feels as if this fantasy world starts falling apart, and we get to this really, really sick revelations where the art drastically changes, and then you figure out what's really going on. I won't give away the twist because I think it's really fun, but man, oh man, it just, like, man, when you get to some of these books, and I like reading Mark Russell stuff because I think it's fun and very interesting and entertaining. But sometimes the way that the truth and that point hits you in the face, it could be pretty jarring. So yeah, this is a really another fun one. I did a review for Vanishing Point #1, so make sure to go check that out on the channel. I'll probably keep talking about this anthology because I really like Mark Russell's writing, and they really have a stellar roster of artists working on all these. So if you have read Vanishing Point #2, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. Go check out our review for Vanishing Point #1. And of course, thank you to Mad Cave for letting us check this out. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And stay tuned because we have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye. Will Battle Beast find an opponent that is worthy of his death, or will he just keep going on his killing streak? Let's find out in this new issue of Invincible Universe Battle Beast #2. Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Invincible Universe Battle Beast #2. This is a new book from Skybound and Image Comics. This is written by Robert Kirkman with art by Ryan Otley, colors by Annalisa Leone, and letters by Rose Wooten. In this book, and if you're not familiar with this series, go check out our first review for the review for the first issue. But we are covering the time where Battle Beast disappeared from his first appearance in the comic and the animated series all the way to his return in the series. So what was he up to? What was going on in that? Let's fill in the gap in this ongoing series here. First of all, I just want to say, whatever this cardstock that they're using, this whatever is going on here, I really like it. It feels very nice to just touch. Like, I don't normally read my comics physically because we get a lot of review copies in advance. But man, this one just feels nice holding it in your hands. Really cool cover, of course. Ryan Otley, like, using up all the red ink that they can find over there at the Skybound offices, I guess. But let's get into it. In this issue, Battle Beast has entered the Blood Games, and this is bad news, but not for him. That's right. Battle Beast is still ongoing he's on board with this prince that he's rescued, right? And rescue, I use that term very loosely. But he needs some food. He needs to help out this prince because the prince right now, like, he's he's only like a little head and an arm and like a torso running around the ship. The ship, which the onboard AI on the ship hates Battle Beast and is trying to kill him. So Battle Beast, as also as he's looking for an opponent worthy to like be the one to bring him to his death, he continues on this journey, right? So they decide to go to this outpost where the prince can be healed, or at least maybe have some mechanical robot parts added to him. But they need money, so Battle Beast enters these blood games, and of course he wrecks shop. Ryan Oddly is doing some of the coolest like art. There are some sequences here that I don't even know how you imagine that in your head. I don't know what the script says, right? I don't like. At this point, Kirkman and Oddly have worked together for so long that I don't know what these scripts look like as far as like how much detail there is. But whoever's coming up with this stuff, fully the range. Like, just I do love that Oddly still expanding on a lot of these worlds. There's few Easter eggs for those that are big fans of Invincible. Like, you can kind of see little aliens in the background and stuff like that. So it's really fun. I'm really enjoying this. It's one of the most violent books that I'm reading currently, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, I love the character. Like, I love a character that, if you have read One Punch Man, like, it almost feels like the opposite side of that, where One Punch Man doesn't want to fight and kill everyone. He just happens to be super strong and kill everything with the one punch. Whereas here, Battle Beast wants to die, wants somebody to like be worthy of killing him, but he's too strong, and he just continues to go through the universe. So yeah, really cool events. Also, how does this, what path will this lead us on to him coming back to the Invincible series and the plays that he did? So yeah, I'm very excited for that. Really enjoying the series. So if you haven't picked this up, make sure to go check it out. Let me know which cover you picked up. As you can see, there's multiple covers here in the back that you can pick from. And of course, stay tuned because we'll have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye. Wonder Woman will have to go into a maze, but there are so many surprises waiting for her there. Let's talk about that in this Absolute Wonder Woman number 9 review. Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Absolute Wonder Woman number 9. This is a new book from DC Comics from their Absolute line. Absolute Wonder Woman remains one of my favorite titles from that line. This is part 2 of As My Mother's Made Me. This is written by Kelly Thompson with Hayden Sherman, the main artist in the series. We also have colors by Jordi Belair, letters by Becca Carey, and a plethora of beautiful, beautiful covers. I can't wait to go to the shop and try to figure out which one I'm going to pick up. In this issue, can Diana escape the maze? The temptation of everything Diana has ever wanted lies just inside, but also untold horrors and unknown escape. Diana has entered the maze, and nothing will ever be the same again. That's right. Diana has been on a mission to search for Amazons ever since she discovered that there were still a few out there. We also have this organization that resides in Area 41. Dr. Poison has come out of the hiding and really given Diana a little bit of information, a nudge, just to get her in there. But is this a trap, or is Dr. Poison does she have any other intentions? So Diana puts some magic together and goes into this maze where we are surprised. As you can see in the cover, of course, there's a Minotaur in the maze, but I think it's a really fun approach to the Minotaur, the mythos of the Minotaur and the maze, and the way that it is told in this world. Hayden Sherman is doing some fantastic work. I've praised every issue that he's been on, and really every book that he's working on. Whether it's the Dark Matters, the Batman book, or some of the indie stuff like Untold, Being Untold. Yeah, it's really cool. I love also when Sherman has to draw a flashback sequence. I love how he changes the paneling. There's this little red border that gives you the inkling of like we're not in the present time, right? This is a memory. This is a reflection. This is something else. I think Hayden Sherman has a really good knack for drawing these otherworldly creatures like the Minotaur and the Fishman that show up. But there are surprises all over this maze. And of course, one of the things that I'm enjoying the most from this series is Diana's use of magic. It's really cool. Like she is very much a sorcerer here. Also, her new outfit, it's super cool. Yeah, I don't know. I love this series so much. And I can't wait to see where we go from here. There's a big reveal in the last few pages of this book, so I won't get into big spoilers, but make sure to go check it out. And if you have read this, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye. Spider-Man heads back to New York, but is this all a big trap? Let's talk about it in Ultimate Spider-Man number 18. Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Ultimate Spider-Man number 18. This is a new book from Marvel Comics from their Ultimate Comic Books line. Very interesting. I really enjoyed this issue. But before we get into that, let's talk about the creative team. This is written by Jonathan Hickman with art by Marco Checchetto, colors by Eric Arcienega, and letters by Corey Petit. In this book, war rages on in New York City. Black Cat enlists Richard Parker's help, and the Sinister Six, they become involved in this turf war. And also Spider-Man gains a surprising ally. Yeah, so I mean, if you haven't been keeping up with this, we know that Harry, the Green Goblin, is not dead. He's alive, thanks to his wife, the help of Mysterio. She's part of the Mysterio group, which is also a very interesting retelling of this. Mysterio being more of a group of individuals that all share a common interest and a common goal in these powers. I think it's a really cool idea. And then also getting Richard involved, right? He's wearing the symbiote suit. I'll call it. It's the techno suit that with the nanobots that really has its own sentience of Peter. It has a sentience of kind of Peter, but it's not definitely. It's not really Peter. So I like how Richard and the suit have gotten acquainted and kind of grown a little bit together. But obviously, this is going to put him in danger. I love Harry's relationship with Spider-Man. I think just those two being friends is really fun. And this issue has a lot of really fun things happen all throughout, like comedic moments, even, especially when it comes to finding out what Doc Ock's been up to. Because in my mind, it's always like, oh, he's up to like no good, right? Knowing the Doc Ock from the main universe, like I expect this one to be very similar. But yeah, and Marco Cicchetto delivering just on all fronts, whether it's a quiet scene where Peter's saying goodbye to his family because they got to go into this fight. You know, Ben and J. Jonah Jameson showing up because the two most reliable babysitters you can get. Or it's whether it's Spider-Man and the Green Goblin kicking ass all throughout New York City, swinging around the city, coming into surprises. And then, of course, like I said, there's a really interesting twist and a reveal. And sometimes when kids go off on their own, they get into trouble. And that's exactly what's happening here in this book. So, yeah, I love this series. I really enjoy it every time it comes out. And then, of course, we always have that ticking clock leading us back all the way to the Return of the Maker. So there's all that stuff as well. So I'm not sure what's going to happen next. I'm not sure where we're going with this, with the Ultimates, with the Ultimate crossover with Miles Morales. Like there's a lot going on in this universe that I'm very excited for. And there's a few other things that the other series feel like they stand alone a little bit better. So I'm a little behind on some of those. But yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man is one of the first books I read whenever it comes out on that week. So if you have read this book, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, Thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye. The last issue of the Fantastic Four, and this one goes out with a big bang. Let's talk about that in this video. Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Fantastic Four number 33. This is the last issue of the series in this iteration. The book will reboot in the next month, going back to Fantastic Four number 1. But let's talk about the creative team and this story called Fantastic 436 Quadrillion, only a number that only Ryan North can understand. This is written by Ryan North with pencils by Corey Smith, inks by Wayne Faucher, and colors by Jesus Avertov, letters by Joe Caramagna. Really cool cover by Joshua Cassara and Dean White. And of course, a plethora of beautiful, beautiful covers. I can't wait to get to the shop and figure out which one I'm going to end up getting. In this issue, the countdown finally has ended, right? This is all still happening in the One World Under Doom banner. The Fantastic Zero. As Ben lost his powers, the others are also losing them. So how will they get them back? Can they even get them back? It all comes down to this. 33 issues of fantastic adventure culminate in a final staring of going back to the beginning of everything. When the solution to what Doom did to Ben can only be found in the past, the Fantastic Four must voyage back 436 quadrillion seconds into the Big Bang. Of course, the tremendous energies there make it unsurvivable unless Herbie, that's right, Herbie is the hero in this one. He can control the precise timing of what is required. Action, adventure, big ideas, everything collides in this final issue, which leads into the even more special number 1 issue coming out next month. So yeah, as I mentioned, the series is rebooting here. And man, this Fantastic Four series has been probably my favorite ever. Like I always had a tough time getting into the Fantastic Four. But Ryan North just gets it, and he gets me to care about it and get it. I think it's a combination of a few things, right? It's great storytelling. Like he really understands the core of these characters, or at least the core of who I understand these characters to be. Like that really resonates with me. He's had a plethora of fantastic artists, but Corey Smith, I believe, has been the main one on the series. And Corey Smith can just draw the hell out of these characters too. There's some weird concepts that things that would seem undrawable, like things that would seem unimaginable, Corey Smith has brought them to life. So it's been a really great team effort. But also, the main thing that really stood out, and you've heard us talk about this on the past few issues or of our live show, whenever we talk about the Fantastic Four, these are great standalone stories. Like at most, maybe it'll be like a 2-parter, maybe a 3-parter if it's related to a crossover event. But I think for the most part, you can pick up any issue here of the Fantastic Four and just have a good time. And that is bringing the team back. That is bringing this book back to the core of what, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee were doing back in the day, where it's like, this is a standalone story. This is a one and done thing. And maybe it's a bigger part of a narrative. But at the core of it, this is just a fun comic book you can read at any time. So I love this series. I really am very happy that we are where we are in this world, and I can't wait to see where we go from here. Obviously, there's a lot of ramifications from the One World Under Doom, and obviously with the upcoming film, Marvel has chosen a perfect time to kind of reboot the series and bring on a new audience, right? Inviting a new audience with a new number 1. It's gonna be very interesting. So I'm pretty excited to follow in this adventure. I'm pretty excited to see where they go from here. I think this is one of the best series over at Marvel. And I think that when this is all collected, like the omnibus for this is going to be insane, which I would think maybe they would do 2 omnibus, because normally they cap it off around 25 issues for an omnibus. But I don't know. This it would be crazy to put 33 issues all together. That'd be a real thick book. But yeah, I can't wait to kind of go back and whenever people now ask me for a Fantastic Four recommendation, this series, this iteration of the Fantastic Four, will be at the top of my list going forward. So if you have read this issue, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye. Rock and Ride, the new all ongoing series, Biker Mice from Mars, is finally here. Let's talk about it. Hello, everyone. Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Biker Mice from Mars #1. This is a new book from Oni Press as part of their Nacelle universe, Nacelleverse. I vaguely remember this franchise. It is not every day that you see a story about Biker Mars from Mice. I was very happy to check this out. I think Oni's been doing some really cool stuff with some old properties, bringing them back to life, giving them a new life now in the form of comics, while still trying to keep the core intact. I think that's really, really fun. So let's talk about this one, though. We have writer Melissa Flores with art by Daniel Gate, Alessandro Santoro colors, letters by Taylor Sposito. In this issue, hot on the wheels, or hot on the heels, or in this case, wheels of last year's breakout limited series from Nacelle Company and Oni Press, the most radical animation icons ever to ride the Elysium Plains, aka the Bikers Mice from Mars, are back and revving up their first ongoing series ever. So it looks like last year, and I think I might have missed that series because I wasn't really doing a lot of stuff from Oni at the time. But they've been putting out so much good stuff. It's hard to not really dig into the pile. But yeah, it looks like last year there was a miniseries about this. So here we're back. So this is, as I mentioned, from Melissa Flores, who you probably have read or are reading some Power Ranger stuff, and then pencils and inks by Daniel Gett, who did Skin Police, which was also a fantastic, fantastic comic book. So the Red Planet is in revolt, and hard-charging rebels Throttle, Vinny, and Moto are joining up with Mars's freedom fighters to fight the invading army of alien Plutarchian invaders. But when a new, entirely unexpected threat to Mars rears its ugly head, threatening the existence of their families and friends and the fourth planet itself, will Biker Mice from Mars become a full-fledged apocalypse? Do not miss this adventures of everybody's favorite revolutionary rodent trio, coupled with the return of RoboForce. This is an all-new backup written by Matt Hodson and with art by A.J. Sue, that will rock the foundations that set the stage for the Nacelleverse. So I did not read the backup story for RoboForce because I'm just gonna wait until RoboForce maybe spins out on its own thing. Also, I'm not keeping up with the larger universe here, so I didn't see that. I didn't see that it would be beneficial to kind of get thrown into the middle of that. But if you're reading it, let me know what you thought about it. But I will talk about the main story here, Biker Mice from Mars. There was a lot of stuff that I did not remember, and I think first of all, let's talk about Geddes' art. It's great. It is fantastic. It fits so well. It gives you that feeling from the same animated characters that you know from before, but it's got some really cool updates. I think also bringing those characters over to the page can be difficult, right? Each of the mice have to look very distinct. They have their own cool looks, and also expanding that out to introducing other characters or families. I feel like in the cartoon, we mainly saw not as many characters as in this, but there's so many characters in this one. Like, it really feels like a full world until it's struck by tragedy. I think the invaders are really cool. They also have a really interesting fish-like design. Now I don't really remember much about the conflict, but man, I really love. There is some penciling trick that I'm not really sure how to describe it other than it just feels like it's a very detailed, but without a lot of heavy lines, a lot of cross hatching. There's just a lot of detail in the pencils that I really appreciate. Um, that I don't know exactly how, like I said, how to describe it or what it's called on the books, but man, oh man, it looks really really cool, especially on those fish dudes. I think it really works. And then it's also very difficult, I think, to capture expressions on like anthropomorphic characters, especially like mice. You know, they have the little snout, they only have the teeth up front, but it really works. Like Daniel get really gets it done here. No pun intended, I guess. I didn't mean to. That really just kind of came out like that. And then, you know, Flores delivers a story that you think it's going in one direction, it's going to be a fun romp, and then things turn to tragedy very, very quickly. And of course, there's a mystery. What's going on? Our heroes and all the people that we're kind of been, all the minds that we've been kind of following, they suffer loss and tragedy in this first issue. So, how do they deal with that? How do they recuperate? How do they come back from this? Or is this what leads them to become part of their own revolution? So, yeah, it's really good stuff. We don't know who's behind all of it or what their intentions fully are. We also need to explore a little bit more about this planet because it's very different to anything that I've seen before. And like I said, as I was reading, just like these little memories kind of kept unlocking. So I think that's going to keep happening all throughout the series where it'll bring me back to some of those moments. So may go back and even check out the series. I've done that before. Like when they brought back Thundercats, I went back and watched the original first episode. So that might be interesting to go check out. So if you are into this series, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments if you've checked it out. If you read the RoboForce backup, also leave me a comment as well. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.